What's up, nerds? I'm Ben,
I'm Nick.
and we just checked out Jordan Peele's new film, Us. We're going to talk about it in spoilerific detail. I'm talking third act revelations. I'm talking everything. So if you're afraid of spoilers, aka you haven't seen the film, tune out now. Otherwise, let's do it. So if this is your first time here at Movie Nerds, we will urge you once again to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, do all that jazz. What we do here at Movie Nerds is we spoil movies, apparently. My God, this movie, it's so impressive. Like the way it's shot, the score, the acting. Lupita Nyong'o, Oscar, everybody, Oscar, two roles, amazing.
Yeah, Lupita gives a performance that is both physical and cerebral every moment. Her facial reactions, her pauses, her hand movements, her strides across the screen as both her twin and as Adelaide comes across into one of the most interesting performances we're going to see in a while. Strip it back, reflect it, no matter how you turn it or twist it, this is a masterclass performance. This is a bit of stage theatricality and a bit of intimate performances mixed in there where you feel every moment with each character.
What I love about this movie is that the first act the build-up is not as long as I was expecting it to be. He doesn't mess about. Like, he gets straight into it. As soon as the son comes in and the daughter comes in and she says there's a family on our driveway, that it kicks into gear and it does not let up.
What are you people?
It's us.
I think a lot of the trailer gave away that first home invasion from the other family. I did not think that this was going to be, they were going to open the world up and this was going to be something that was happening across the country. And I also didn't think that the white family was going to come back into it so soon. That was a really good surprise. And I think absolutely the best thing about this movie is how it keeps you interested in the pacing.
Very
Yeah,
rapid.
Absolutely. And what did you think about the deaths themselves? Because there's some pretty gruesome deaths here, but they were done. They were paced perfectly. They were spaced out perfectly.
One thing I find interesting, and we talked about this, is there's a sort of Hitchcockian level understanding of violence. It's not the act of the showing of viscerality that matters. It's the impact.
And I think there's actually moments where you're allowed to laugh at the deaths. There's some really funny moments in this film, and I think Jordan Peele, coming from a comedic background, I think he's always going to do this in his films. There was moments in Get Out as well where you're allowed to laugh. It kind of loosens you up a little bit, and so when the scares do come, it punches you a little bit harder.
Yeah, and that's what I find interesting. I mean, Winston Duke's character is very humorous, but there's a moment in the film when we progress enough where Jordan Peele's right, all right, the safety blanket's off, let's just go. Let's just keep getting darker and darker. And once we get towards the ending, we realize how absolutely horrific the true story of Us is, what has really brought us here. And that's this sort of wonderful callback to what made 70s and 80s horror good. The idea of an experiment, the idea of something that we've done to make this situation awful, and the idea of that final twist, that M. Night Shyamalan, nice little twist at the ending that was telegraphed so exquisitely by Lupita in a performance a few times. Because there's moments where I just want to tell you, oh my God, are you seeing her face? Are you seeing her hands?
So you saw those moments and you thought to yourself, perhaps there's a chance here that there's a flip going on.
I saw the way they did it. There was music cues, there was hand gesticulations, but it's done so quickly that you have to be vigilant. So if anyone you take with you to see this movie again, ask if they notice it, and just because this is a movie you can watch once, twice, maybe even 3 times.
I think the rewatchability of this is great, and I think there's so many layers to it, and to me that's what makes great horror. There's like I said, I don't think there's a lot more social commentary here. There's this kind of like 3 different movies going on here, which is fine. I think Get Out was a little more simplified in its focus. But what do you think this movie is about? If you were to sum it up in like one simple, what's Jordan Peele trying to say in this film?
Duality. Going back to Greek times, Janus, the two-faced god, who's meant to be a reflection of good and evil in everyone, and the idea that mankind has one action for good and one action for evil. it's no coincidence that Jeremiah 11:11 is cited throughout the movie, and the number 11:11 is a palindrome going backwards and forwards. There's a link
man.
between good and evil.
This movie is a conspiracy theorist like wet dream. It's just you could look at this movie a couple of different ways. Like I said, I think it's 3 movies in one. There's some I got a cult vibe from just the way that the others kind of look, the red and the choice of song at the end almost had like a cult quality to it. The way they're all linked hands together.
I saw a bit of Hitchcock. I saw a bit of Carpenter. I saw the best of the earliest generation of horror coming back at the best possible moment. I saw a bit of Don't Look Now. I saw a little bit of They Live.
Yeah.
And I certainly saw a little bit of the Crazies in there as well.
And there was even from the first shot alone, like that slow zoom into the screen that sets us in that 1986 setting, and the VHS are very, very carefully placed around the edges of the frame.
The right
The
stuff.
right stuff was on the
Shud.
right. We had Goonies on the left.
Yeah.
It's just like nothing's by mistake in a Jordan Peele film, and I honestly think he takes from all these masters and he creates something new, and that's what the best artists do. That's why I love Tarantino, and I think Jordan Peele is doing something. I honestly hope he continues making horrors for the time being. Like, I'd like to see at least one more horror before he switches it up, because I think this guy can do anything. But I do hope he plays in the horror house at least one more time. So I think it's pretty obvious that we loved Us. If you loved Us, tell us in the comments below what you loved about it. What are your theories? What do you think this movie's about? Like Nick was saying before, if you had to sum it up in a line or two, what do you think it's about? What was Jordan Peele trying to say? And don't forget to subscribe, damn it. Do not forget to subscribe. That's the most important thing of all, right? Until next time, we'll see you nerds at the movies.